Once upon a time, there was a town in the Weser Bergland, which is known today throughout the world because it was here that a wondrous story unfolded. A story of great misfortune, of a mysterious rescuer, a broken promise, and a dreadful revenge. The legend of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And we too are unable to resist his spell, allowing ourselves to be kidnapped by the colourfully clothed minstrel without ever knowing where he comes from or where he goes. In a valley lee by the river Weser lies the town of Hamelin, an old and venerable town which has preserved its historical roots. Centuries-old architecture is lovingly maintained in a town which at the same time pulsates with the present. A city full of history and imbued with one story which touches everyone, the mysterious disappearance of the children of Hamelin. Who the piper really was and where he took the children are questions still being researched today, whether to their doom or a better world. Anyone today who allows himself to be led by the colourful fellow beyond the city limits will discover a landscape of simple, gentle beauty, an oasis of peace and recuperation, rich in culture and architecture. Like the Pied Piper himself, the architectural style of Hamelin and its surroundings is unique, the product of the so-called Weser Renaissance. One of the most beautiful castles in northern Germany, the Hamelin, was built in this variant of the more earnest direction in the Italian architecture of the period. As a Weser Renaissance castle surrounded by water, it enjoys a particular reputation. Between 1588 and 1618, this impressive manor house was constructed on the remains of another castle. Since then, it has been owned by the von Klenke family. The castle's owners are happy to allow access to the castle complex, which has been maintained in its original condition and its historically significant art collections. A charming landscape with extensive meadows, fields, and forests surrounds the castle. A natural environment that has been kept intact, and one which gives the visitor a feeling of both physical and spiritual well-being. The shining ribbon of the Weser runs through this idyll and takes us on to the next location. High above the river, on one of its most beautiful bends, stands the castle known as Bog Paulo. These ruins of the residence of the Counts of Everstein offer a wonderful panoramic view and attract hikers, cyclists, and water sports enthusiasts. However, it is also a magnet for fans of fairy tales, since it is here that Cinderella is said to have lived. Weser Bergland invites its guests to immerse themselves in nature. Northern Germany's most beautiful nature reserve is best explored on foot or by bicycle. Culture and history are everywhere to be found. The former imperial abbey of Corvey is considered the region's oldest preserved building. Founded in 822, it became a source of many important educational, cultural, and scientific impulses. This outpost of Christianity, known as the Rome of the North, exerted a magical attraction for emperors, princes, poets, and thinkers. History is like a flowing river. Water is movement, and the Weser carries us with it on its journey. Enchanted castles are to be found everywhere in the land of fairy tales and legends. In the Sleeping Beauty castle of Sababurg, the beautiful princess is said to have fallen into her long sleep. Embedded in the gentle hilly landscape, nestling on the sunlit side of a wide valley, is Bad Pyrmont, one of Germany's oldest and most beautiful spas. Over the centuries, it has attracted many illustrious noble and patrician guests with its Mediterranean charm. One can stroll in their footsteps in the palm garden with its glorious flowers. The symbol of Bad Pyrmont is the Hullige Born, the town's oldest and most well-known spring. Thousands of people from all over Europe came here in the 16th century in the hope of finding a miraculous cure in its waters. This belief in miracle cures has now been consigned to history, but the bubbling waters retain their health-giving properties. Silent forests in which time has stood still. They have always played a special role in the life of the people here. The forest provides the foundation for life and imagination. Who does not believe that one can encounter dwarves and elves here? The forest and the water, a region of such unique beauty, cannot help but produce beautiful things. 90 meters above the Weser towers the Jagdschloss von Fürstenberg and houses Germany's second oldest porcelain manufactory. In the museum, one can view the techniques of porcelain production and marvel at precious collections dating back over 3 centuries. Perfect artworks from white gold. Between Porta Westfalica, with the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial in the north, and the unifying kiss of the rivers Werra and Fulda in the south, lies the Weser Bergland, with its legendary beauty and its economic and cultural centre, Hamelin. The citizens owe their prosperity and reputation to the river. Today it is a source of pleasure and relaxation. Progress and tradition, the two complement one another in Hamelin. In the historically significant Pulverturm, one can experience a 2,000-year-old craft. Even today, the glassmakers here work exclusively by hand. Hamelin is a town in the land of fairy tales and legends, an architectural jewel bearing witness to the efforts of many generations. Richly ornamented facades and magnificent patrician houses are witness to the efforts and pride of their inhabitants. A historical city, a living home. The opulent decorations are colourful and delicate. Masks, decorative borders, grotesque figures. A feast for the eyes, a place to linger. And in the midst of all this, one always finds a colourfully clad figure playing his flute.
Bürger von Hameln, zu mir kam ein Mann, der von sich sagt, dass uns helfen will und helfen kann. Hier ist hört ihn denn, dummes Stück!
In Hamelin, the old legend lives on, and whoever hears it told will always remember it.